All right, let's talk about it. For CPA firms, it's the same story every single year, isn't it? January starts off with all these great plans, but by March, boom, the reality of tax season hits like a tidal wave. So we're going to dig into why this keeps happening, and more importantly, we're going to explore a really powerful strategy that can turn all that annual chaos into a serious competitive advantage.
Yeah, does that sound familiar? That sinking feeling of just drowning in deadlines while all the skilled local talent you desperately need seems to have just vanished. You are definitely not alone. It's a pain point for the entire industry.
I mean, this just nails it, doesn't it? It's not just about being busy. It's this relentless, sustained pressure that leads straight to burnout for you and your very best people. But what if there was a way to break this cycle for good?
Okay, so let's call this what it really is. This isn't just a busy period. Nope. For so many firms, it has become a recurring, completely predictable crisis that just hammers your resources, your team's morale, and the service you give your clients.
To really fix a problem, you have to understand what's causing it. So why is that traditional in-house only model just cracking under the pressure? Well, it's not just one thing. It's more like a perfect storm of pressures all hitting at once.
Let's break these down. First off, there's a huge talent shortage in the US. Not enough qualified accountants, which of course drives salaries and costs through the roof. Then you've got tax laws that get more and more complex every single year. And on top of all that, your clients, they don't just want a tax return anymore. They want your advice year-round. The old model just wasn't built to handle all of this.
So that's the problem. Now here's where we pivot to the solution. And I'm not talking about some temporary quick fix. This is about completely rethinking how your firm actually operates, so you can build real long-term capacity and resilience. Okay, pay attention here because this slide is key. The old way of thinking, outsourcing, was basically a band-aid, right? You were just getting temporary help to plug a leak, usually just to save a few bucks. The new strategic view, offshoring, is totally different. It's about building a bridge. It's a permanent, structured extension of your own team that's designed to help you grow.
And this brings us to what's called a global delivery model. So forget that old idea of just firing off a task to some anonymous freelancer. I want you to think of this as intentionally building your firm's workflow to include highly skilled professionals from day one, making them a seamless, strategic part of your core team. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, this sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? How do you keep control? And what about security? Those are great questions. So let's walk through the mechanics of how this is done.
What's so amazing about this is it creates this powerful 24-hour workflow. First, you get dedicated teams. Think of them as your people, just in a different office. Second, the time zone difference becomes your superpower. Work is literally getting done while you sleep. And third, and this is the most crucial part, your firm always holds the keys. You maintain 100% control over the final review and approval.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, security. This is always the first and most important question, and for a very good reason. Client trust is everything. So we have to address data security head-on.
And the answer is a clear yes, if it's done right. The professional, serious partners, they live and breathe security. We're talking secure systems, strict protocols, and following every single IRS disclosure requirement to the letter. Security isn't an afterthought. It's the foundation of the entire model.
Okay, so the data's secure. But what about the work itself? US tax law is a beast, right? It's a labyrinth. So the next logical question is, can a global team really truly master it? And the answer is yes again. And here's why. Specialization. This isn't about hiring generic accountants. The partners who do this well provide professionals who are continuously trained specifically in US GAAP, IRS regulations, and even your firm's unique workflows. You're not getting a generalist, you're getting a dedicated US tax specialist.
And finally, we get to the bottom line for any firm leader. How do I make absolutely sure the work meets my standards? How do I keep control over the final product that my client sees?
Let me be crystal clear on this. You are always in control. The global team does the prep work, the heavy lifting, but your US team is the gatekeeper. They have final review and approval authority on everything. Think of it like this. You're expanding your capacity. You're not giving away your control.
So now that we've covered the how, let's get to the fun part, the why. What is the real payoff here? Because this is about so much more than just surviving April 15th. This is about completely transforming what your firm is capable of doing.
And this right here illustrates the transformation perfectly. Before, your best people are buried in compliance, just reacting to deadlines, stressed out and overworked. But after you implement a global team, that same amazing talent is now free to focus on high-value client advisory and proactive planning. They get to shift from the grind to actual growth.
And you know who feels this shift directly? Your clients. They still get their compliance work done fast and accurately, but now they're getting what they're really paying for: more of your team's brain power, more strategic conversations, and the kind of proactive insights that actually help their business grow.
So when it all comes down to it, this is the big takeaway. The goal can't just be to survive tax season. That's setting the bar way too low. The real goal is to build a modern, resilient firm that's strong enough to handle anything and agile enough to jump on new opportunities for growth. Which brings us to the final question, and this one's for you to think about. As you head into the next busy season, is your firm's only strategy to just work longer, harder hours? Or is it maybe time to start working smarter? Because that choice right there could define the entire future of your firm.